Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is
ChargePozitive.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
We're here going to do a range test, not in the Tesla Model Y, but we have a California Route 1. But we ran into ChargePozitive. We'll drop a link to his Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of that in the description. But we have a range test, so
let's go.
Well, welcome to our first sort of like official range test, but we are doing this one a bit different. A lot of people do the 100% down to 0% range test. One, we're a little bit time limited, but two, we want to show like a realistic, what a lot of people would do on a road trip, and that's 80% down to 10%. So we just charged to 80%.
Separate videos available if you're interested in the charging of this vehicle.
And ChargePozitive will be in that video as well. So that's what he showed up while we were doing the charge test. But we're here just north of San Diego. We're not exactly sure where we're going to drive. We're not going to do just like a loop. There's going to probably be some hills and things like that. So it won't be like one of Kyle Connor's or Tom Malogny's tests where they're on a very fairly flat road. Just so you know, the conditions starting out, it's about 62 degrees. Light wind, but not that bad. We may hit some traffic. We may hit a little bit of hills. We're going to sort of play it by ear, but we're going to try to do our range test. We're starting at 80%, 234 miles of range. I'm estimating that we may do around a couple hundred miles. I'm not sure. I think we're going to use about 67 kilowatt hours to get down to 10%. And at just like 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour, that ends up being like 201 miles or something like that. I got all the numbers.
If you're on point, I feel like you deserve a prize.
I'm just sort of guessing.
Star.
We have a GT. The GT is not nearly as efficient as this, so we're excited to test out this California Route 1. It's rated for 312 miles on a full charge EPA. So let's just get out on the road and get some miles started. So we got to go get over on I-15. We're gonna head south towards San Diego and then like do a loop around. So we'll play it by ear and like update you guys as we go.
Let's go. Well, we are kicking in for the long drive. Patrick is officially in Blue Cruise. It's scooching over. This is Blue Cruise 1.2. We have separate videos on that. But I think you're setting the speed at 70 miles an hour. Our temperature is our preference. It's 68 degrees and everything else is set to auto. The car says the temperature is 62. Outside is 60. I'm sorry. Car says temperature is 67. Outside is 65. So really temperate. Light winds, like we said.
And we're in whisper mode. I'm going to try to use Blue Cruise or Intelligent Cruise Control, either one, as much as possible. And 0 to 5 miles per hour over is probably all I'll do. So like right now, the speed limit is 65. We're doing 70. Slow down a little bit for that car. I'm not going to completely prevent it from, slowing down a little bit. Just trying to keep this like real world, not, finding a super straight piece of road and no wind and perfect conditions.
We're not hypermiling.
Yeah, we're not hypermiling. We're not like ignoring like what people will normally go through. So we're going to try not to do a bunch of bathroom breaks or anything like that. We're going to take a loop. We're going to go down towards San Diego. I think we're going to go across on I-8 and then take I-805, or I don't even know what it is. We just moved here. Back toward I-5, then go back up toward Carlsbad, Oceanside area, and I'm not sure. I think we may cut across on the 78. I think it's okay in this direction. The other direction, basically eastbound on the 78, is closed right now because they had a sinkhole, but I think we're okay going this direction. And we'll just do that loop. I think it's like probably like 50, 60 miles. So hopefully we'll get like 3 loops done. and just sort of see how it goes. And yeah, this is our first range test. As I said, I would love to hear, like, do you guys want to see us do 100 to 0 range test, or
no.
Is this 80 to 10 good enough? We are excited to try the California Route 1 because this is the long range sort of version of the Mach-E. It gets 312 miles of range. It is all-wheel drive, extended range. But it has the 18-inch wheels on the car and the aero wheel covers that ekes out a bit more range than the premium all-wheel drive extended range, which is rated for 290 miles. This one is rated for 312. We're only doing like a 70% chunk of the battery. So, of course, we're not going to get 312, and we're also doing highway speed, so that should lessen it as well. But otherwise, we have some decent conditions. As you can probably see coming up ahead, you know, there's some hills down here, so we'll have deviating efficiency because of that. We are. Let's tap.
Oh, we just went to 3 miles per kilowatt hour.
Right now, we're at 3.0 miles per kilowatt hour. And we'll just sort of, you know, update you with that. We're 6 minutes and 45 seconds into this, 5.8 miles. And we'll just keep a watch on that, keep updating you, give you a little bit of scenery, not too much. I know this is more about the range test. If nothing else, we'll check in like every 10, 20% or something like that. And then when we get down lower, we'll do, you know, more in-depth updates, but we'll sort of just monitor how things are going and how accurate this range meter is as well. So again, we started with 234 miles of range. We'll see what it is when it's down to 10%.
Woo. So we've done this portion of our segment on I-15, and now we're getting onto 8.
And Liv looked, and you said we could just...
Everything's green. There's no heavy traffic anywhere. So we figure maybe let's just go a little bit of a longer route so we can stay on 8 for a bit and actually go up I-5. It's, like, can you see that? Can you see that? Basically, instead of doing a little pizza slice of a triangle, we're doing a square pizza. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry, so I don't know. What's a piece of toast? We're doing toast instead of pizza. That's
I don't know what you're talking about, but this is all good.
All good.
We're just going to go all the way over to I-5 instead of the 805.
Yes.
And I got to move over one more. So
And
now we're good.
everything's still consistent. The car still says 67. Exterior is still 65. We're still set at 68. We like the high 60s, huh?
And we have 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, 18.5 miles into the trip. Only 5% battery so far. I took cruise control off, Blue Cruise, while we were going through that interchange, trying to figure out. That's the first time I've been through that interchange, so it was a bit confusing to me. Not confusing, but I didn't know where I was supposed to be.
And I hope you can see how crazy this looks. This is so SoCal, with all the highways over each other, like every which way.
But just a few miles, and then we'll head north on I-5. I'm going to move over because we got a lot of traffic coming on here. Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
And just like that, now we're at 70% battery, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. It's been like 3.5. It dropped to 3.1 for a little bit, and we are 31 miles into our little mini circular road trip. Around and around we go. Everything's going well. For the most part, staying 65, 70 like we'd want. I sort of want to get around this car, but we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. Everything's going pretty good. And again, we're trying to like keep this as realistic as possible. Keeping pace with traffic. So like when traffic slows down a bit, we're going a little bit slower. We're going up a hill now, getting around this car, but I don't want to like block people from going past me just to stay at the the set speed, so I might accelerate a little bit. But I think this is fairly realistic. When we've done road trips, a lot of times we end up charging to about 80%. And then if it gets below 10%, we both get a little anxious.
Yeah. 10 to 80 is definitely the sweet spot. Because 10% feels like if anything's going wrong at the charger and you need to get somewhere else, you might still be able to do that. Anything less than that, it just feels a little dodgier. Of course, when we get more charger expansion and more coverage every 50 miles or whatever, that'll be amazing. But this road's kind of wonky, and Blue Cruise is handling it well.
Yeah, well, that guy was really wonky.
He was really wonky, yeah. And now Patrick just did a hands-free lane change.
Yeah, we're really loving Blue Cruise 1.2. Please, if you haven't, go check out. We actually have 2 videos on that. One is out, one we got to edit. But
Might both be out.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully they'll all be out quickly. But it's great so far. Like, I'm doing a lot of this hands-free,
which is kind of cool because it really is a test of the car then, because it's also the car driving. Did they come over?
Yeah.
Dang, what are they? He's holding the steering wheel and he's not on the phone.
And the Blue Cruise 1.2 scooched over for us, but I went ahead and got my hand ready because I didn't know what that guy was doing.
He went very wonky.
And now he's doing like 60 instead of 70, so.
Maybe he's sleepy or something. Almost
Yeah.
acting sleepy. And then as far as the route so far, we skipped 805 and went from the 8 to the 5. If you're familiar with this area, you know what we're talking about. I barely know what we're talking about because we haven't driven around this area that much. But maybe next time around, because we're going to have to do this a couple times, we might do the 8 to the 805, so pizza slice instead of piece of toast. Because the exchange was a bit complicated and convoluted, so it did get a little trafficy just as everyone was like merging in all these weird lanes of highway. So just canceled on Patrick.
Not Blue Cruise, but my lane change canceled. And I think it thought somebody was coming into the lane. But it's really nice being able to do the lane change feature of Blue Cruise 1.2 in this car.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
Temperature is 64 from the car, 65 outside, so we're pretty consistent still. And 95% of our energy is going to driving, 2% climate use, 3% accessories. So, my phone?
And staying at 3.3. Oh, no, that's accessories is the dash and stereo.
Okay,
and,
cool. And we're not playing
we are
music
charging,
or anything. Yeah.
My phone and your phone.
Which realistically you do on a road trip, is to charge your devices.
Yep. And the 68 that we have the cabin set to, I forgot, it's not on auto. I should have it on auto, but it's auto 68. That's just what we're comfortable at, summer and winter. A lot of people want it a little bit warmer on a gray day like this, but we're just going by what we want so that we can be comfortable on this range test.
And we hope to be able to do this again with other vehicles, so we will try to keep it consistent, although certain things like the exterior temperature and the route are affected beyond our control. We can't control the temperature and we can't control traffic as much as I'd like to. And there are cops up ahead, so it seems like a good time to stack this catch up and continue driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. We were just driving on that.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh, it's a big hole. That's
The
insane.
drainage collapsed.
Wow. I've never seen anything like that. Even like, whoa, is the I-70 that got flooded?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we are at 60%. It's a little bit of a bummer that we're getting some rain. It's very light, but the weather didn't say it was supposed to rain, so I'm irritated. Let's check our miles per kilowatt hour. It's 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Oh, we're slowing down. I didn't realize. There we go. 60.7 miles at 60%. And 56 minutes, 53 seconds. So still going good. Still just trucking along. We are on California 78 heading east, and we'll eventually get to I-15, and we'll take that south and head back down and sort of getting close to starting to loop all over again. And now I guess we're technically finished one loop, almost. This is the exit where we got on after charging. So we're at 76.7 miles. So I guess we'll do 2 loops and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. I don't want to necessarily start another loop if we're not going to make it the whole way the third time.
Yeah, and I gotta say, kudos to Tom and Kyle. I'm bored. Because it's not like you're going on a road trip where you see different things. And
or you end up someplace where you weren't.
Yeah, exactly. And like we're going past things that I want to stop at. Like that's actually driving me nuts a little bit. I'm like, oh, let's go there. No, ooh, and we can't stop. And now I'm going to see it again.
Yes, now we're going to do the same thing. I think we'll do the 805 this time.
Yeah.
But I was going to update us at the 50% mark, but maybe we'll skip that one. No, I guess we should. But anyways.
No, it's 4%. Well,
yeah. Right now we're at 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour, 77.7 miles, watt hour in 12 minutes. Slowing down a little bit because of that guy. Everything is still good. It rates our driving. Acceleration is, we get a 98%, deceleration a 98%, speed is 53%. It'd rather, in an EV, force all to do 40 miles an hour for efficiency's sake. But light sprinkle of rain for just a little bit toward the coast, but here it's been fine. Over here we get a little bit of the hills. So it's a little bit of trade-off. Not any like stop and go traffic. I think we slowed down when we were doing some of the interchanges down to 50 just to do the interchange, but we haven't had any stoplights or stop signs. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a Mach-E Grabber Blue. It looks like, I think it's a Select.
Yeah.
And some very fast motorcycles going by.
Wow.
But they were over in the carpool lane over there. Wish they would come over and say hi.
I know. We've actually seen another Mach-E as well. It gets exciting every time. But anyways, we've got 3% until we're at 50, so we will touch base again then.
And now we are at 50%, 141 miles of range. We've been 91.5 miles, 1 hour and 24 minutes, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, and we're getting close to I-8 fairly soon. Everything is going good. No more rain in the last little segment. And now we're going to head west for just a mile or so and head back north on 805. So this next loop won't be quite as long. It may be like 3 or 4 miles shorter, I think. But overall, it's about the same. And everything's still going really well. It's been 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour and then just finally fluctuated up to 3.3. One of the things I've noticed with the Mach-E is even though they have all the data where they can calculate that number very accurately if they wanted, it never seems to do certain numbers. I never see it do 3.2 or very, very rarely maybe, but anyways, 3.3 right now. And I could hook up Car Scanner or something like that and get the data and calculate it myself. But sort of didn't want to do that. Just do doesn't really matter how many miles can we go from 80 to 10. And here's our interchange. So I'm going to concentrate on finding the right place to go. If you guys want to just say goodbye for a minute.
Well, I'm going to update too.
Okay.
We are still 98% for acceleration. Deceleration is also 98%, which I think is funny because a lot of that is actually in Blue Cruise. So Blue Cruise is handling that. So it's almost like it's rating itself. Speed is 52, which is us doing that because staying often at 70 miles an hour. And the car says it's 64 degrees. Outside is actually 64 as well. So on point there, but really consistent so far. And like Patrick said, we are doing the pizza slice, not the piece of toast.
You said that, not me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Bye. Yeah. Nice. Looking good. Bye. We're halfway there. Yay. Oh my gosh, it feels so long.
We're doing a check-in at 45% because that's halfway between 80 and 10. And let's do a quick update. We are at 107.2 miles, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour still, 2% for climate use, 0% for exterior temperature, 2% for accessories, 96% driving. It says we have 126 miles of range left, but pretty cool. We're halfway and over 107 miles. Now we'll check to see if from 45 down to 10, if we get another 100 plus miles. But we have a situation.
A situation, a very normal situation for road trips or longer driving. We need to pee. So we are going to go somewhere very close to the road so we can just pull off, pee, and get back on.
Yeah, I wish there were a rest area, but there's not. So we'll just look and see. We sort of know some of these exits, and we know some of them are really bad for getting on and off, but we'll try to find one where we don't have to go like a mile out of our way or sit at a stoplight too long and mess up the efficiency test. But pretty cool, over 100 miles in half of the 10 to 80 test.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And traffic's a bit crazy. We just, we were on the 805, but we just merged with I-5 North. So it was a bunch of lanes merging down. So traffic was a little bit crazy for a moment. And let's find a bathroom.
Oh, we just saw a Hyundai Nexo, so a hydrogen-powered vehicle.
First one I've seen. I didn't know what it
Yeah.
was. I was like, that looks different, and it doesn't have a tailpipe.
It was actually really cute. I liked it. All right, let's find a bathroom.
Oh, it's the Michigan plates, too.
Hello. Turn your mic on. Who's driving that car?
There's an Ioniq 6. It's the one in the left lane. And it's has Michigan manufacturer plates. Oh, I should have went behind it. But I was like, that's a better view over here. Oh, well.
But we got a good chunk of footage that we'll overlay. It looked really sweet. I'm really curious, though, who was driving it. There are obviously a bunch of cool content creators out here. It could have been anyone, but they must be doing some testing.
Yeah, and
Or
unfortunately,
delivering.
we hit traffic. So this is messing up our range tests. So we definitely won't come back up here if we're doing another loop. We'll have to like turn around somewhere and stay on the 15.
And let's see how long this traffic is going to go through. We're almost at 40%, so, but that could take quite a bit of time.
Yeah. Dang it.
We're almost done with the traffic. It's not a long section, but assume that it's going to make us more efficient.
Yeah, this will make us more efficient, which I just wanted to do a real 70 mile per hour test, but this is unfortunate.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that person stopped for no reason?
Yeah.
Oof. That was dodgy. But exciting getting to see an Ioniq 6. I think they're beautiful. You guys will have to let us know what you think. I like the aesthetics of it a lot more than the Ioniq 5. I like the curvature. Yeah, we got a little chunk. And then it stops right there.
Yeah, it's not far, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, but this is very real world. We'll take it with a grain of salt when we get to the end and consider all the details of our entire journey. Hopefully this is the only traffic that we really face.
Well, and the fact that we had 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour for 35% of the battery. We can extrapolate that out, and if it goes up significantly higher, we'll know why, or any higher. And you can almost, it's like everybody wants to do the entire range, 100 to 0, but really, as long as you get like a good chunk, you should be able to estimate things, and you're going to have more variables like traffic and rain and wind that affect your range more than any change in variation of going like a constant speed. Because like once you get to your first, 15, 20 miles, that's what your efficiency baseline is going to be. The external factors is what's going to really get you in the real world. And we had some of that a couple of times in our real road trips, one because of elevation going up and over the Rockies, and then a couple of times when it got really cold, our range just dropped. And then another time we went through really, really, really heavy thunderstorms, and that really killed our efficiency. But it was like driving through a mud puddle or a water puddle for miles and miles.
Yeah, but in this case, this is kind of a fun thing, really, because traffic makes us more efficient. So if you really need to save battery, if you are scared that you're not going to make it to your destination, you can drive slower and make yourself more efficient. So this is kind of a real world bonus. Just watching all these people not indicating, but it's a really great thing now that for that little chunk where we were slower, we were more efficient. And now just to say, we're still 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. So, wait a second. It said 4.4 for a second.
It went 4.1.
For the trip overall.
Oh, this trip.
Yeah, for the trip overall.
But
this trip.
Trip 1 is still 3.3.
Yeah, so we pulled up. We found a very efficient way to pull up to a gas station. Obviously, you saw it was literally like off the highway and right back on. So the detour was maybe like 50 feet or something.
Really? 200.
200. But now we're really, really close to 40%. So we'll touch base so we can give you close to accurate as possible.
We can skip 40% and then just wait for 30%.
Okay. But basically, here, we'll give you our update. We've been driving for 121.9 miles, let's say 122 miles. It's almost been 2 hours, so an hour and 57 minutes, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. 96% of our energy has been to driving, 2% climate use, 2% accessories. All of that's really, really consistent. Still, outside temperature 64 is what the car says. It's actually 61. We are closer to the coast right now. It's normally colder, closer to the coast. So we're going to be going inland again, so we can expect that temperature to rise. But either way, it's really temperate. Mid-60s,
and it's saying 0% for external temperature.
Yeah.
By the way, Blue Cruise is handling the stop-and-go traffic. It's still a little unnerving, like when they come to a stop, and I'm like, is the car stopping? But it's doing fine, handling all of this in a construction zone, even next to the wall, which
that obviously a lot of people have hit.
That was one of the questions on our previous Blue Cruise videos, was specifically, and now it just asks me to put my hands on, which it's not that big of a deal. It just realizes that there's little room for error in case there is an issue.
So it's disconcerting when you see the people braking.
Yeah.
All right, okay. It's still disconcerting. It's weird. You have to let us know down below what you feel about ADAS, advanced driver assistance systems. Do you like them? How you feel using them? I find this weird. It's weird. You?
I'm getting more used to it, but this is where it makes me nervous. Is just because it's like I'm not in control of the braking, and I like to be. So.
Oh, and it is super cool though.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we'll consider that our 40% update. We'll talk to you guys again at 30%.
Yes.
Woo!
80 miles of range left at 30%. Let's do our trip settings. Before we get into it, it's really interesting, the acceleration and deceleration. We only had like one opportunity, and that was after we stopped to go to the bathroom. But it like never adjusts those scores, and I actually accelerated very lightly coming onto the freeway. So those scores always make me laugh, and it's like our speed has been constant, just like it was before. We're getting a low number on that. So anyways, I sort of ignore those numbers. 2% climate use, 2% accessories, what we've been at the whole day. 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, 151.1 miles so far, 2 hours and 24 minutes of driving. By the way, so this was from when we turned the car on to go to the bathroom. It went through the construction zone, and it says 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So interesting that it's lower than our overall average. I thought the construction area would have helped boost that number. But in any case, this is the one we're focused on. 151.7 miles, and we have 19% left of battery to get down to 10%.
So we got stuck in a whole bunch of traffic when we were on the 5. So we figure let's just go back and forth on I-15. So we're pulling off on Aero Drive. This is exit 8, and it looks like it's an easy place to get on and off. Hopefully, we're doing it right now.
Ooh, I don't see an on-ramp. I thought you looked. Yeah, oh no, it's a loop. Okay, we're good. Sorry. Sorry.
So, yeah, hopefully we can get on in the opposite direction really easily. Everywhere else has traffic. Side note, we see this Pickup Sticks place a lot, and I've never been there.
We haven't tried it. There's one near the house, and it doesn't get good ratings.
No. Have you eaten at Pickup Sticks? Yeah. And hit record on your mic.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. So, yeah, basically,
we're going to go
a whole bunch of green.
North on I-15. We won't go all the way to Temecula because it gets red before we get to Temecula. So we'll probably go to like Bonsall.
Oh, we could even go to, we could go to Bonsall. Yeah, we could go Opala Mesa.
To California 76, and we'll turn around there because I know that interchange, and then we'll just not do loops, but we'll do like up and downs.
Yeah, and who knows how much we'll get. Right now we have 73 miles range. We're at 27%. So we only have 17% to burn through, which doesn't sound like a lot. But then again, this is really a long range vehicle. So it's quite impressive.
Compared to the Mach-E GT Performance Edition that we have that's rated for 260 miles, it feels like this is
going forever.
Way more. And it is. I mean, it's like over 10% more.
Yeah. Well, we were saying the amount of range that you get more is basically like a 2016 BMW i3.
It's actually like 20% more. So
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big difference between the two.
So that was a nice turnaround spot, aside from waiting at the traffic lights. But what are you going to do? Seemed like a quiet little area, so that's pretty good.
We know we don't have the quietness of Wyoming that Kyle uses in his test, but this will have to do.
And I don't know if there's ever a way to get like lab results on real roads, because random stuff happens, right?
When you're out in the real world, yeah, that's exactly it. So
you got Blue Cruise on.
Blue Cruise on, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. We've been 165.1 miles, 2 hours and 39 minutes now. Everything's going good. Let's keep cruising. We'll update again at 20%, because then that'll be our last check-in before we're done.
Woo! 20%. We're almost there. Yay.
Feels like forever. 55 really miles of range left. 177.8 miles, 2 hours and 50 minutes. Still 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. By the way, I don't know if I said this in the beginning. I know I said we were going to be in whisper mode, but we are also in one pedal. According to Ford, the modes and one pedal driving won't make much difference on range for situations like this, but that's sort of just the way I like taking road trips, and mostly because I like whisper mode in using Blue Cruise. I think it's less aggressive using Blue Cruise in whisper mode, and then one pedal I just keep on all the time. And I used to take it off sometimes on road trips, but then we get to an exit or whatever, and I'm like, whoa, we're coasting, and because I forget that I have turned it off, so I leave it on all the time now. But almost there.
Almost there. Still at 63 degrees is what the car says. It's 62 degrees outside. Everything else is the same. 2% climate use, 2% accessories, 0 exterior temperature. How's your driving? It's all over the place. We have 10 more %. I'm very excited. I can't wait to stretch my legs. It feels different to a road trip. I don't know why.
Yeah, and now we got to figure out, like, when we finish at 10%,
where do we charge?
Where do we charge?
Yeah, this is all new to us, sussing out this area. So,
okay, see you at 10.
Woo. We are almost at our designated turnaround spot that we just picked. We're at Pala,
I don't know.
Pala.
It's I-15 and California 76. So this is our turnaround spot. We're at 13%, so I know that now going that direction at some point we'll hit 10. And what I'll probably do is just let it hit 10 as we're just going, and we'll get the numbers as we're driving. And then the next exit I'll pull off, and then we'll find charging. But we don't need to like do one of those where we're getting every last bit of energy and getting it right down to 0. So we'll just let it hit 10, see what
touch base.
And see what that number is, and then I'll do some calculations.
Yeah, I'm excited. It feels like we went somewhere and did something, but we've just been driving around in circles. This is pretty cool because, like Patrick said, we'll go back down I-15, and then by the time we hit 10, we'll have the option of going inland or coastal to pick a couple chargers because it might be busy.
Just realized I want to be in that lane.
Zippity zoop.
Yeah, this is a good turnaround spot too.
Yeah.
As soon as we turn around, we got to go up a hill, but we just came down that hill, so basically sort of evens out.
Yeah. And we're not going to touch base too much because we're almost done. It's very exciting.
We'll see you at 10.
Okay. Well, that was quick.
Wow. So that hill killed a couple of % just to get back up it. But we're going to keep talking until it hits 9%. But I'll give you the numbers now, and then when it hits 9. But we're at 205 miles of that we've been since we left the charger. 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, 3 hours and 14 minutes, and 26 miles of range left. So really, really pretty good result there. I got to do the math. I won't do it in my head, but I'll pop up the numbers, or whoever's editing will pop up the numbers.
I'm going to hope that is to you.
Extrapolating out, instead of, if we didn't use 70%, but if we used all 100% of the battery at this efficiency, this is what it would be. But we'll see.
Someone.
Yeah, we'll pop it up.
You will put it right here.
But we're going downhill a bit, so I think it's going to take a little while to get to 9%. So again, it's like if we were trying to be very, very precise and accurate and getting down to like 0%, eking out every little bit, we would do that. We're going to do this just flying at 70 miles an hour, and we'll see when it clicks over to 9%.
Well, now we got some climbing to do, so I imagine we might actually click over in a bit.
Yeah, I think that might be it. 206.5. The 3.3 miles, it just seems like that's what this car does when we're doing 65 or 70 miles an hour. We did mostly like 65 to 70. I try to keep it at 70, but of course, as you could see, there was bits with traffic. It was hard to do 70 in those. And I'm not talking about like where we were, that short section of stop and go, but just in general, like people would cut us off or whatever. But this is not a bad result. I don't think, like 200 miles straight up with 70% of the battery, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and if we were road tripping, it's so funny because we totally stopped in the middle of this, but if we were road tripping, I'd be ready to stop now. Actually, 3 hours. I'd probably have wanted to stop an hour ago.
Yeah, I mean, we did a
2.5
quick
hours,
bathroom
maybe.
break, but I'm ready for
9%.
a long break. Okay,
Yeah.
9%. We hit 207.7 miles, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. The whole day it's been like 2% climate use, 2% accessories, 0% exterior temperature, and 96% driving. But yeah, I think that's what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and wrap this video up. It's been awesome. I know were a lot of little updates. We wanted to keep you guys informed, but I'm been really impressed with this, and we're down to 9% range, and I know we got to go back down and find a charger, but I feel very confident that would be like no issue with 9%. In our GT, I may be a little bit more worried, which brings up the point, do you guys want us to do this in our GT Performance Edition? Now, granted, I may not do the exact same route. I need to find a route that we can duplicate, but I can still do somewhat similar.
I mean, we could do the pizza, then the toast, and then go up and down. Totally makes sense. If you've been paying attention, that makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
But thank you guys if you're still here, thank you. And if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe because we're going to do this type of fun stuff
And
all
if
the
you
time.
are still here, then please leave a pizza slice. There's got to be a pizza slice emoji, right?
Yeah, there has to be a pizza emoji.
That would just make me smile. But yeah, the thought of doing this again soon, that's not a big deal. Why is this a problem? We'll do it again. If you like this video, please do let us know. If you didn't like it, let us know. That will help us. If there's something that you want to see different, feel free to let us know too. And any other information that you want or anything like that, we want to make content and the information that you want.
And now the heavier rain starts.
Now maybe right.
That's
Perfect
a sign.
time to finish. Yeah.
Yes. But
Big
first,
thank you to our patrons as we do.
actually,
in
we'll
unison.
fade them in or something. I don't know.
Oh,
But thank you.
he's gonna edit this. And do all the
Engaged.
work.
Unbridled.
And whispered. Yes, thank you so very much. And just remember that whatever you drive, even if it doesn't go as far as this car,
Like our GT.
like our GT, we still enjoy the ride. I hope you do too. Bye.
Bye.